covers it up. I'll go ahead and hit on the cameras between them. The Samsung Galaxy S10, like I stated, has a triple camera setup, a 12 megapixel wide angle lens, 12 megapixel telephoto, and then a 16 megapixel ultra wide sensor. Where the Google Pixel 5 has a 12.2 megapixel wide angle lens, then a 16 megapixel ultra wide sensor. Now, between the software experience on both, they both are kind of around the same thing. As you can see, there's really not one that, blows the other one out of the water in this sense. But I feel like there's still way more features on the Samsung Galaxy S10 camera that came out a year ago than on the Google Pixel 5. And this is a perfect example of that. Look how many more features we have on something like the Galaxy S10. We have Pro mode, we have even Pro video mode on this phone as well, if I was updated to One UI 2.5. And that is something that is really important for me to note. The videos and everything, I mean, you can do 4K at 60 on both, which is great, but I actually like the Galaxy S10 camera just even based off this. There's more features on something like a Samsung Galaxy S10 than on a Google Pixel 5 camera, so that is something that's very important to note. Now on the Galaxy S10, as expected, that telephoto lens is really nice. You can zoom in a lot into a photo. You can also zoom out of a photo quite a bit too because of that ultra-wide sensor. And if you're taking, really up-close photos and you want a little bit of a different effect, it's really cool to have that capability of having that ultra-wide sensor or even that telephoto lens. There's a lot of capability in this specific camera. There's the portrait mode, there's the 4K at 60 if you ever wanted to do it, and you have a 10 megapixel front-facing camera that you can do 4K at 60 frames per second on this phone. So again, it just adds a little bit more character to this device by having that type of capability and being that good of a performing camera. I mean, this is a tremendous performing camera on this device. Even though it's over a year old, I still think it holds up extremely well. And the Google Pixel 5, for it being a $699 brand new phone, kind of a flagship from Google, I think it's actually a pretty good camera too. So Google does a lot of, optimizations in the software. And because of that, they do a lot of software enhancements. And that's one thing that, the Google Pixel 5 is really, really good at. Basically, if you go and, want to take a photo, whatever, Google will, with the software in the back end, can go ahead and make the camera look that much better. And that is something that's really cool. Now, if it's up to you, I mean, you may not even care about it, but with that and the ultra-wide sensor, that is something that makes the Pixel 5 a really good camera. I wouldn't necessarily say it's the best camera, and I wouldn't even say it's better than the Galaxy S10. And maybe the Galaxy S10 is a little bit weirder in a way because of the amount of features it has inside of it, if that's a bad thing. But maybe the Pixel 5 has better looking photos, but I think the Galaxy S10 has better capability, I think, for the sensors it has. So in terms of the camera, that pretty much covers it up.